Shloka 19, chapter 5, Shloka 19. Before I start, I just wanted to bring this thing. Tell everyone that this Gita for me has been taught first by my mother. So when I say Guru, first I remember my mother. I would like to bring her in every class, but somehow I'll miss it out. So she was the one, and her father. He taught me the first shloka was Karmanye Vadikaraste only, Mapaleshu Kadachana. Uh, that was when I had to participate in one of the Gita competitions. Okay, so how it started was it was Chinmaya Mission who used to conduct classes on Bhagavad Gita when we were in school. Fourth standard, I was fourth grade. So that time there was a competition, and I had to prepare in English. Very tough. My mom was a teacher, and she gave that task to her father who had come to visit her. And that was the first time I understood the meaning of. It was only a word meaning translation, karmanyeva adhikaraste. But coincidentally, today we are discussing. In every class we talk about karma yoga. Every class, the entire Gita is based on karma yoga. So then my mother, my grandfather, and of course the Chinmaya Mission, and there was one Mr. Subramanyam, um, and then it was Ramakrishna Mission, Swami Nirbhayananji Saraswati. All these people have helped me to get into this depth of Bhagavad Gita. So I will thank them and then I commence. So we have discussed about 19th chapter, 19th shloka. Ihaiva tairjitaha sargo yesham same sthitam manah nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te sthitaha. So we have discussed that in this whole chapter is when Arjuna asks Krishna, isn't it better to become a sannyasi so that we get into contemplative mode and we start uh, thinking, getting more jnana, because we have more time. Why at all we should do day-to-day activities and waste our time? Isn't that better? In that sense, not exactly in the same words, but he says, isn't that better, Krishna? Again, you talk about karma yoga. Once again, clarify which is better. So Krishna says, both are equally good. In fact, I would say doing your regular duties with the sense of, with the attitude of yoga is definitely a special one, vishishyate, and a higher one. He in fact he puts it always, he puts it at a higher platform as compared to sannyasa yoga, without reducing the importance of sannyasa yoga, because the entire Gita, so many things in India are, yeah, brought to the general lay person through this jnana achieved through sannyasa yoga. There are so many sannyasis who have dedicated their jnana for the welfare of others. So without undermining them, Krishna tries to make emphasize on karma yoga, because the world has to run, the society has to run. There should be a proper representation of different categories of people. It is important that most of the people who are in the process of getting this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, very few are in spiritual path. So he wants everybody to get into this activity based yoga, which is karma yoga. Just by changing the attitude, you can become a jnani, and you can also get liberation from suffering. So beautifully he has started explaining. In continuation with that, he says, ihaiva, in this life itself, in this world itself, you can get this Brahma sthiti, Brahmani te sthita. How he says, Samye sthitam manaha, one who is who is in balanced state of mind, who has that equanimity. Again and again, he brings that state, who takes both sukha, happiness, or sorrow in the same platform. He takes them as it is. So he's very calm and he keeps practicing all these things. And who is nirdosham he samam brahma, so whose mind rests in sameness, and he believes that the entire world is Brahman, and same Brahman lives in each and every person, and Brahman is free from all evils. Nirdosham is amam Brahma. Brahma is Nirdosha, Brahma is also Sama, and we should also therefore practice Samyam, Samye Sthitam Manaha. So such a person can get liberation in this world itself, in this birth itself, on this platform itself. So he gives a lot of um, hope to Arjuna that don't worry, even if you are fighting this battle, you are no less than a sannyasi as long as you have this attitude. Then he says, Na prahrushet, na prahrushet priyam prapya, nodvijet prapya cha apriyam, sthira buddhihi asammudho, brahmavik brahmani sthitaha. So, what are the, how should we attain? See, for us, moksha may be far off, far-fetched goal. But we must understand that uh, the goal has to be established. Reach, we may take longer time, but that should be our goal. Why that should be your goal? Because that is, we are all restlessly striving towards getting happiness, isn't it? We want to be happy. We want to be free from this misery. But we presume that the small, small things, appreciations, or buying something, living in comforts is giving us happiness. That is true. It is, we cannot deny that it is not a state of happiness. It is indeed giving us some kind of solace, but that is not all. That is one spark of the true happiness, and this happiness is not going to be permanent. We may be happy today, but you must be prepared. But this is not going to last long. This is what Gita says. You must be prepared to understand that whatever happiness, chota chota happiness we are getting in our day-to-day life, they are indeed God's grace or your own effort, or it's a materialistic happiness. We will not condemn, but we must in our mind understand that this is not going to stay long. What is going to stay long is a permanent happiness. Just as when we treat patients, if we treat symptomatically, what happens is his cough is temporarily suppressed. What is the root cause? He may be having infection, may be having allergy, he may be having COPD. That means it's because of so many other things. So, or tuberculosis, or cancer. Until and unless you treat the root cause, you cannot cure him. You cannot cure him until and unless we treat the root cause. Similarly, in this, in our human life also, the real truth is that we should get into the roots of our misery. So what are those roots? What are the root cause? Root cause analysis, very commonly done in management lessons and in quality. If we are working in corporate world, we all know that our quality depends on identifying the errors and getting into the root cause. So these are all the, what I should say, these are all the statements in Bhagavad Gita which is addressing the root. When a tree has to grow, you have to water the roots. So this is exactly going to the roots. That is why it makes it so impressive, and which can be very well proved, experimented, proved, validated. And it, you will get the validation if you start practicing. So he says, na prahrushet priyam prapya, no dvijet prapya cha apriyam. Sthira buddhihi asammudho brahmavit brahmani sthitaha. Brahmani sthitaha means the person who lives in that state of Brahman, the person who lives in the state of Brahman. So, without becoming over elated when something when something very pleasant happens, without becoming over elated, right? Too much of excitement, nor grieving or depressed when something unpleasant happens. Uh, with a steady state of intellect, with no delusion, the knower of Brahman is established in the state of knower of Brahman is established in Brahman. That is the meaning of this. So, without becoming, that means in this world, previously he says, no, in this world, right now, we can become totally jnani. We can reach that. I told you the goal is reaching that state, which is totally, that is a supreme goal. Reaching that state means totally free from misery. There is no other path. That is the only one. Reaching that state only, we can be totally, we can get rid of all the suffering, even though we are in this world, even though we are the same situations, still we will become liberated and we will be in extreme state of happiness. I told you, I'll repeat that. Happiness to the power of infinity is bliss, Satchidananda. That is a state. So, such a person is said to be Brahma Nirvana or Brahmi Sthiti, Brahmani Sthitaha, all that he will explain. So, who are all those? How do they behave? They are not elated, too much of excitement. They do smile, they do respond, but they are not overexcited. You can see some people when we also, when we become sometimes so excited, we don't even get sleep. Maybe when you become, when I got ranked for the state, I was so excited. Natural it is, because that was something which I never expected. So I did not sleep for 2 3 nights. The whole, I was so vibrant and always, in a very different state. So that excitement, that is what happens normally. That should not be there, he said, because those are all temporary, those are all very transitory. They are going to go. I mean, that happiness will not stay for long. If we know that, the people who are realized, they know that whatever is happening, no, today somebody put me, felicitated me on the stage, gave me so much of this thing, they spoke so well, all right, but we know that this is not going to, so that's okay. I will not reject also, but I will not be overexcited, nor I will, lose the sleep for depression also. Depression means, I'm not talking about our scientific endogenous depression, when we are low. Okay, when we are low, or when we are too anxious. So this person, the person who is in that Brahmi sthiti, he will not be so, he will not go to that lowest stratum also. He'll be calm. He'll say, okay, theek hai, ho gaya, it's happened. Now let me see what I can do, how I can get over it. This is immediately he'll come back. He will respond. That response is the character, that is the condition that we must understand. Because in one of the speeches, no, our Swamiji used to tell, even an idiot will behave like that. Sita Prajna. He will not know what is happening, like a wall, no emotions. We are not talking about that. We are talking about wisdom. Wisdom is going through that, go through that pain, go through that misery, go through that happiness, and then start introspecting, going within and understanding and behaving. When you behaving means that comes automatically. A person who is in that state, he will neither be too excited nor he'll be too depressed. In other words, to reach that state also, we must try to control our emotions with maturity, with wisdom. Okay, because why with wisdom? Because when we get so much, as I said, when you get so much of happiness, you should understand that it is transitory. So I will not be, this is okay. When it is down, also, it's okay. Everything is going to be alternating, nothing is going to be permanent. With that thought, it's very difficult though, but what helps? Our practice of karma yoga, our practice of bhakti will help us to tide over both of these. Whenever too much is happening, you just remember God and surrender, Krishna Arpana. So that is how a Brahmi sthiti or person who is in that state will be, right? Then bahya sparsheshu asaktatma विन्दत्यात्मनि यत् सुखम स ब्रह्म योग युक्तात्मा sukham akshayam ashnute. So in all these shlokas, Krishna is talking about Brahmi sthiti, Brahma, because he's trying to bring a convergence between what Arjuna asked, sannyasa yoga. So he's trying to take that sthiti. What is that sthiti? Even in your practicing this day-to-day activity, you can still reach that. What state the sannyasi is going to reach, karma sannyasi, similar state you can reach, and that he's calling it as Brahma Yoga, Brahmani. Throughout, these are the words he's using. So now he says, Bahya Sparsheshu Asaktatma, one who is disinterested, Asakta, in Bahya Sparsha. Bahya means external. In external contacts, actually, Sparsha is a touch. Here he is using that word to represent the external communication. One who is disinterested in external contacts and Vindati Atmani Yat Sukham, enjoying his own self. He is happy to within himself. He doesn't need to go out to be happy, right? And devoting his heart or mind to meditation on Brahma attains endless happiness. See, so beautiful it is to one who is disinterested in external context. External means other than me in the worldly affairs, enjoying his own self, devoting his heart and mind to meditation on Brahma, attains endless happiness. So these are the siddhi. That means who have realized. Such persons, no, they are not interested in external because they are getting much more happiness within. They have experienced, they went on practicing constantly. What is this, what is this, either through jnana marga or through karma marga. Surrender. More you surrender, more bhakti, more nearness to the divinity, then your attraction is solely to the divine or any environment which links you to the divine. Maybe a satsang, maybe a Bhagavad Gita, maybe a good movie which is talking about good things, which Veer Savarkar, maybe I'm just telling, our choices start becoming more evolved. As you start progressing, it starts becoming more evolved until we reach a state where we no longer require any externalization. We don't want to attend any functions. I mean, given a choice, right? Given a choice. Or even if you attend, you are always in that state. Mentally, you are not uh, just like, as we said, the tortoise withdraws its limbs. You feel as much as possible. I want to minimize. There is no need. It's not out of, you are not isolating yourself. You are not shy. You are very happy. Given a chance, you will make the most, you will be the most influencing person in a party. You will be the most influencing person. You will be most communicative. Everyone will attend, listen to you adoringly. So that will be the nature of this person. But he doesn't want that because he finds they're all very at a lower level, lower stratum, that he doesn't want to give it so much importance. He feels being with himself means the Brahman, is more appealing, more rejoicing, and more blissful. It's a different state which goes beyond happiness. That is what is being described. And I'm sure all of you will would have started experiencing little bit at times at least, that this one gives you something different. It's taking us to a different world. These kind of thoughts, this kind of meditation, this kind of chanting or listening, that is taking me to a different world. My God, there's nothing, because nothing is bothering me there. I'm so much at peace. I'm so much elated, not with which is not the experience which I get with other pleasures. No, it's not like that. So this person, the important uh, aspect in this sloka is that a realized person or a totally ajnani does not entertain the external contacts, bahya sparsheshu asaktatma, because much more is attractive to him which is within himself, because he's totally connected with the things within himself. So it doesn't mean sparsha means doesn't mean only touch or something. It means any kind of contact with the sense organs, seeing, listening, good food, tasting, any kind of enjoyments, right? So any kind of enjoyments do not, uh, you know, attract him so much as the divinity within himself. And Sukham Akshayam Ashnute, attains endless. Akshayam Ashnute. Akshaya is endless. That is why we have named Akshay Sarathi Satsang group, our group. My company is also Akshay Sarathi Healthcare Solutions. Akshaya is endless. Akshaya is endless. Akshayam Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. So he attains the endless happiness. Why should I care for this one? I have got a bigger one. That is his attitude. So for that, we need to practice yoga. So that is the meaning. Next one says, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga दुःखयोनय एवते आद्यन्तवन्तः kaunteya न तेषु रमते बुधः. So why does he now this has got connection with the previous shloka. So he knows, he doesn't entertain because he knows that pleasures coming from external contact, external, samsparshaja is external contact. Bhoga, they have bhoga, they are sources of dukkha yodaya evate. They are sources of pain or sorrow. It may be temporary, the pleasure which I'm getting, but definitely sorrow follows it. I don't want to do that. He is avoiding it because he knows that they are the sources of pain or sorrow. And ahadi antavantaha, they have a beginning and an end. There is a source of happiness, but it will end. Why should I go and buy something which is very small, which is very short lasting, isn't it? I'm sorry to say, made in China, we used to say, no, you can buy them very attractive, but they don't last for long time. They're very cheap, but they won't last for long time. Who wants to buy them? Similarly, here also, I'm just giving you, I'm not against China. They're very good technologically, but this is a common joke we used to hear in our WhatsApp groups. So these are the regular things which are happening around us, the pleasures which are coming out of external context. External means I go and meet somebody, I go and talk to somebody, I go and I mean, we do so many activities. It's not that we should stop, but what Krishna says here is that by controlling all our, I mean, by reducing all these interactions, means not indulging. That we must, I think I should underline, indulging or attachment. Indulging means too much of obsession with these. If we have no, then that is bound to result in sorrow or depression. So just little bit, whatever is required for our day to day activities, and then we come back and we get involved in our meditation or in yoga, practice of yoga, or whatever you do, take it as a divine expression. With that, if we do know, then we will be relieved from this. Otherwise, these people know, they feel that whatever we are enjoying, okay, it's just matter of time and matter of, matter of fact, we are enjoying. They have a beginning, they have an end, they know that. Therefore, he does not have any pleasure in them. Externalization, too much of what message we can take is, since we are in this world, we are part of the society, we are following some norms in the society, we can be there and do not get over indulgence into them. We need not get too much involved, so that something happens during a discussion, we come back and start cribbing or brooding over, somebody told me something, why did she say, why did he? No, not required. So this comes automatically with age, but when we are young, we are susceptible, or we are very much vulnerable for such kind of, sorrows, or I should say disturbances, mental disturbances when we interact with people. If we are aware, like always we say, Suvarchala, she is so young, she is. So if we are aware and then we interact, my God, that will make your life so beautiful. You will not get disturbed, not as much as we would be disturbed without understanding this, right? So he, such a Brahma, the person who has realized, definitely when you reach that stage, anybody, he will start avoiding. He wants to be left alone. He doesn't, the Adyavantaha Kaunteya na teshu ramate, they do no longer interest him, the external, because he says they are transitory, and they have an end. They have a beginning, they have an end. That means they are short lived, they are not going to last long. And definitely, if there is a pleasure, there will be a pain. So why unnecessary? Let me come back to my Brahmi Sthiti and be happy. So that is the meaning of this shloka. Then the that is 23rd. Then sorry, 22nd is done. Next one is Shaknoti ihaiva yaha sodhum prak sharira vimokshanat kama krodhot bhavam vegam sa yuktaha sa sukhi naraha. See, sukhi, he says. Sukha is, this is real sukha. Which is the real sukha? This sthiti. Brahmi sthiti or sthita prajna. In the second chapter, we spoke about sthita prajna. He has used different terminologies. They all mean the same. Shaknoti ehaiva, one who can withstand. Shaknoti, shakya. Shakya means, will you be able to? We ask, no? So, Shaknoti ihaiva yaha, one who can withstand in this life, prak sharira vimokshana, before liberation from the body, and means before he dies, one who can withstand. What is that? The current Kama krodhot bhavam vegam. How nicely is described. The current or the force arising from the lust and anger. Because these come with so much of force. Haven't we experienced the anger? So much of experience, so much of force. So one who can withstand in this life, that means he can stop, he can arrest, he can very well control the current arising from lust and anger. He is a yogi and he is a happy person. He is a yogi, he is a happy person. The previous shlokas he said external contact. So Brahmi, as the person who is going to that stage, he as much as possible avoids interaction externally, and even if he interacts, all this kama krodha, that means lust and anger, arise when we are exposed to all these distractions. No, we see people, a man may see a good lady with a beautiful lady, he gets attracted to her, he may not get her, he will become angry. A woman also, similar thing may happen. Or a woman wants to possess so many materialistic things. She wants to make money, to, have investments, have so much of property. When she doesn't get it, she will become angry. So that comes as a force. Here, what he's trying to say is these are turbulent forces. They are so strong. By using that word vega, vega is the speed. It's not even current. Actually, the way it comes and engulfs our mind, it engulfs, and krodhat bhavati sammoha smriti bhramshat buddhi nashat pranashyati. We have seen that. How krodha can destroy everything because it comes with that force. Just like a storm. He is describing these emotions like a storm which can destroy you and take you to an irreversible state. If a person is able to conquer or control, when can we control? Again, when we address the root cause. See, even in our disease management, most of us are doctors here. Primary prevention, secondary prevention, isn't it? Chaitali is my favorite because I am all for preventive medicine. So here, a person who sees another person's suffering because of his anger, because of his lusty nature and all, he will say, no, I should not be like that. This is going to be disastrous. So this is primary prevention. I will not enter into that. Let me control. Sometimes we get yield to our anger. Most of the times we have yielded and to our desires. Desire could be anything, not only possessions. It could be the way we want to live with people. Everybody should behave the way I want. That is also kama. Desirous of a particular situation, circumstances which are conducive to me. I should be happy, I should be comfortable, I like this, I don't like that. Everybody should be according to what I am saying, whether at home or in outside in your institution or in your hospital or wherever. So that also is karma. So these we are bound, but when it becomes excessive, because it is like that, excessive karma, it starts whatever, any type of karma, unless you are aware, no, you cannot put a dam on that, you cannot block it. It will just carry your mind, and it gains momentum also. Because if you are in a good position, whether at home or outside, and if people are very cooperative or submissive, then there is no end for that. Then that leads to, and if nobody, something is not going in your favor, then anger. And that anger also uncontrolled, because the nature is like that. He says nature of this anger, the prakriti, is created in a way, in this way. In what way? Like this. It comes vega. Kama krodhot bhavam vegam. A a wise person is so strong that he learns from his experience, because he is always introspecting, always reflecting, always aware of his thoughts. Why did this happen? Where did I go wrong? Then secondary prevention. Next time I should not do this. Something is triggering. So the minute that comes something, this person will be aware. He will say, okay, now my mind should not yield to this. Let me control. Let me not react. Let me not talk. There is a difference in the way we react in the West and in the East. In our setup culture, we just speak. In the West, I have seen they remain silent. That silence could be for a long time, or they may take actions also. In here, we keep talking, and something we speak which goes beyond our control, which may hurt others to such an extent that they may not come back. So all these things happen in anger. So therefore, a person who's aware, once you start practicing, once you start becoming aware, you will say, okay, now I must control. What shall I do? I will just meditate, or I will leave this place. My friend had told me, just leave that place. Come back after some time. The anger would have come down. Now, my mother used to tell, and I think most of you know, ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಾಗ 10 ಎಣಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. In Kannada we say, when you are angry, just count 10. Count 10. So by the time you count 10, it would have gone. So like that, anger is something which is very, very, anger management books are written. So anger management, the authors of those books are maybe in the Brahmi Sthiti only. We never know. They would have practiced it. So we must, so this person, if you, he says, Shaknoti ihaiva, if you are able to control Kama and Krodha, who can withstand in this life, before in this life means he has complete control. Nothing can make him angry. Yudhishthira was like that, it seems. Even you are angry for, see, we say anger and everything should be controlled. We should use whenever it should be used. But Dharmaraja, Yudhishthira would say no, no type of anger is good. Even for whether you want to correct people, you want to exercise your power, whatever it is, even if people have done wrong, your anger is wrong. This is one statement which Yudhishthira has done. You can refer. This has impressed me. Very difficult. Oh, it's very, very difficult. But if you are able to, nothing will make me angry. If you reach that stage, then he is always happy and he is a yogi. That means so much of importance is given to control of anger. Then he says, Yo antaha sukha yontaha sukhontararamaha tatha antarjyotirevacha sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhutodi gacchati. Again, I said he'll bring to that on that only. Brahma gacha, brahma nirvana. These are the terminologies. That is the highest state. He whose happiness is within, he finds happiness within. He whose relaxation also is within, whose light is within, he is a yogi. So everything is within. How beautiful, no? Difficult to practice though, but he's saying that there is something which we are not able to tap. The Jivatman, which is within our body, is there. But what is that which is preventing? We have already discussed. It is Kama, Krodha, Raga, Dvesha, externalization, not staying, not coming within. So these are the sorry. So this person, for him, everything is within only. He's, so what I'm trying to say, that isn't it very, very what I should say, isn't it very hopeful for us that we don't require any person in the true sense? God has created this human body in such a way that we are self sufficient in every sense, physically, mentally, emotionally, in every sense. Actually speaking, you don't require anybody. That is why these sannyasis who are in Himalayas, they don't need anybody. They are happy to themselves because everything is within. They have, we must learn the art of going inside. The art of going inside requires art of shutting ourselves from externalization. But being in this household, being, and also Krishna says, you don't give up karma. Be in this world. We are in this world. He says, you do your duty. But then how to do? We are going to interact with people. But even when we are interacting, no overindulgence. Whatever interaction is happening, it is all prakriti. It is I am not the doer. So these are all so many thoughts that we should keep remembering and practicing. And at least for some time in the day, when we shut our ears, eyes, everything, lock ourselves and meditate, that will work magical to take you to understand, because during meditation we are focusing on that which is within. We are not thinking of something outside. We are taught to meditate within that parabrahma who is within us. The same parabrahma is outside also, but there is no need. Sit there and do. Therefore these people have practiced that, and then they have reached that stage, and then they say, no, I don't want anybody, I will just sit. And therefore Krishna says, if you practice karma yoga, bhakti yoga all through, I mean, properly, then getting onto this stage would be very easy. So during our interaction also, we must not be giving so much value to all these things. Just, keep your eyes focused on the goal. That goal is evolution, and these are only tools. Whatever we are doing, no, including, I would like to be very upfront in telling that all the relationships, no, they should be taken as a medium. They should be taken as tools to evolve. Tools means, let us say, a husband wife relationship. It is a very nice tool to express love, unconditional love, because that is what is required for bhakti. That is what is required to reach our goal. So try practicing expressing this unconditional love. Unconditional means no conditions. No conditions apply. It's only giving. So there are no expectations. Whatever is there, okay. We are loving you because we are loving. We are human beings. We are both are expressions of divinity. Whatever, even whether you have mental, physical, emotional, any relationship, no, it can become very sweet when we start giving more, expecting less. More giving, 80% giving, 20% less. This will take us to our goal. So now you understand, we can use whatever is there. Last time, I think, Peter had asked this, prakriti. So this prakriti is nothing but all this whatever is happening around. People are all prakriti only, because God has created our mind, our buddhi. We are using our buddhi now. I have to be loving. I should be not self-centered. Let me do more and expect less. That gives us more happiness. So we can use our living conditions, whatever they are, whatever, good, bad, anything. Good and bad are relative terms. If we compare and say bad or good. So whatever they are, if we use them as tools, use the same prakriti, same tool, same people, same profession, anything, wherever you are, use them towards that goal. Internally, the mind should tell, my goal is ultimately um, Satchidananda, to be blissful, moksha. That is my end. So we can, for him, no, when he has reached that stage, as we start doing this, there will be a stage when uh, we will feel that I am happy to myself. And whether I'm talking to people outside, I'm cooking, I'm serving, I will start seeing Brahma in everything, everywhere, all the places. Apart from that, when I close my eyes and sit, I feel maximum happiness is within me. That is what is the stage of yogi. So he says, yo antaha sukhaha antaha antaha aramaha tatha antarjyotihi evacha. So such a person, for him, happiness is within, relaxation is within, light is within. He is a yogi. He becomes Brahman and attains the absolute freedom in Brahman. None of these statements prevent us from doing our day-to-day activities. It never says that we should close and sit throughout the day meditating, no, but it will make us understand that everything is Brahman. Doing with that Brahma Chitta, or in a yukta state of yoga, is what is required. So that is 24th shloka. Next, labhante brahma nirvanam rishayah kshina kalmashaha छिन्न द्वैधा यतात्मानः सर्वभूत हिते रताः. He is explaining similar things now, because as I mentioned, there is convergence between sannyasa and karma sannyasa, means those who leave this family to become a sannyasi, and those who are in this world yet want to attain moksha. So both paths are same. He has brought that convergence right in the beginning, and throughout he is trying to say that. So now 25th shloka he says, absolute freedom in Brahman, absolute freedom in Brahman. Absolute freedom means Brahma Nirvana. Brahma Nirvana means Nirvana only. And we say we are fixed in Brahman. Brahman is Parabrahman. He is also obtained by rishis whose um, whose karma, or they say kshina kalmashaha. Kalmashaha means mistakes. You can call it mistake, or you can call it as sins, or whatever term, whose all past karmas are exhausted. So absolute freedom means Brahman Sthiti is also obtained by rishis whose imperfections are exhausted and who have transcended the duality. Again, likes and dislikes. Anything is okay for me. You insult me, I'm okay. You praise me, I'm okay, because you don't matter to me. What matters is this is what rishis who are fixed in Brahmi sthiti they talk about. So absolute freedom or Brahma nirvana is obtained by rishis whose sins are all exhausted, who have transcended the duality through karma yoga. And then one more he brings here is sarva bhuta hite rataha, those who are engaged in the welfare of all. So anybody who has devoted his life in activities for the welfare of others is definitely a true sannyasi. Need not isolate himself to the woods. He will be here. He will be having food with us. He may be even going out with friends and all, but his primary goal is to help others. I have come in this world. I will. He may be married. He may not be, but that alone is not enough. He says that he should have transcended the duality. So you engage in some activities. You will say, I am running, I'm helping orphanage. I go and do free camps, or I treat patients because I'm a doctor. I teach students, school or high school or in universities. But that is the activity which takes us towards our goal. But that alone is not enough. What is our attitude? What should be our attitude? It should be free from dualities, means likes and dislikes. No, I should be very impartial. I should grow beyond these appreciations, insults, all those dualities. So that if I have, and I'm taking up the, I'm helping others, I'm always thinking for the welfare of others, because I identify myself with others. I identify myself with others. In so there's one Swami, not Swami, KNS Narayanachar. He has given his talks in English. He was an English professor only, but he has written many books on Krishna Avatara. And I think there are books. I will try to send those on Amazon also. Very learned person. We know him. We knew him very closely because he was, his son and my husband were colleagues. Now, after starting Bhagavad Purana, I started listening to his lectures. Very beautifully, he says, so Brahmana, Brahmadnyani. Who is he? When you feel, when you feel like crying, or you feel so sad to see somebody suffering who is unrelated to you. He's neither your husband nor your child nor your in-laws. No, none of them, or your colleagues, nothing. You see somebody suffering, and suddenly your tears, your eyes will be filled with tears. That means you're so empathetic that you cannot see anybody suffering. That is something, a state where you are connecting with the entire universe. That is the state actually. So that is how. So Brahmana is actually supposed to be that. So this is how a person who is nirvana, who attains nirvana, a rishi can obtain when his karma gets dissolved. How does his karma get dissolved? In the previous, we have seen sections. His karma gets cleansed, everything, because he starts excusing, he starts going above dualities, basically. Kama Krodha. Kama Krodha, one more, again it comes. It's not only Kama Krodha. We know that it is associated with its siblings. Who are those? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsara. Desire, anger, greed, then delusion. Moha means delusion. We are, I should say, we are so ignorant that we don't see things as it is. We are biased, we are partial because of our self set, that is moha, delusion. So desire, anger, greed, and then this delusion. Mother is too much of egoism, me, mine, those, mother. And matsara is jealousy, envy, not enjoying others' happiness, not being part of others' happiness and not enjoying. When we become jealous, when we become so disturbed by others' growth, that is matsara. So these are all our enemies actually. So Rishi, who has conquered all this, we spoke about Kama Krodha coming like a force. These all these siblings also will accompany along with that, right? They're all interrelated. They're all they sit together. They have a very good understanding among themselves, so they live together. So controlling one, if we focus, everything comes under control. They're all interrelated. So this person, by controlling all this, and he exhausts his karma, and he will be engaged in the welfare of all. Rather, by engaging ourselves in others' welfare is a very good way of cleansing our karma. Then 26th shloka. Kamakrodha again he says, Viyuktanam, Yatinam Yatachetasam, Abhito Brahma Nirvanam, Vartate Viditatmanam. So exactly what we said, released from anger and desire for spiritually disciplined, heart well controlled or mind well controlled, for spiritually disciplined person, unity with Brahman. Sorry, for sannyasis who have liberated, I'll repeat this. I did not complete this statement. For sannyasis who have liberated, who are liberated from desire and anger, and who have well controlled mind and are self realized, liberation of material existence is both here and after. Here means now, and also after they leave this body. In other words, what we spoke just now, that self controlled mind, transcending dualities, brings a self discipline and putting efforts towards controlling desire and anger, that will liberate us from material existence here and after. Here means here in this world. Now, Sparshan Kritva. Now, very interesting shlokas. These two last shlokas, actually, here he comes to the process of meditation. Sparshan Kritva Bahirbahan Chakshushchaivantare Bhruvoho Pranapanau Samo Kritva Nasabhyantara Charina Yatendriya Manobuddhihi Munihi Mokshaparayanah Vigate विगतेच्छा भयक्रोधो यः सदा मुक्त एव सः. So this says shutting out contacts with external objects. That means close your eyes. Do not listen to anything that's happening around you, and then steadying the eyes between the eyebrows. This is one of the method of meditation. We close our eyes and bring the, you know, steadying them between the eyebrows. That means we converge them like this, and restricting the currents of prana and apana inside the nostrils. That means proper pranayama, performing proper pranayama. Restricting means prana panau samokrutva, in a particular proportion. So they say it is 1:2, one inhalation and two exhalation. Prana, apana, udana, vyana, samana. These are 5 life forces. Very important. We will discuss probably the next chapter, Raja Yoga it comes. So here they are talking, he's bringing out how simply a person can meditate, or rishis meditate. So how do they do? They disconnect themselves with all external, sit in a place, and converge the two eyeballs and have their sight with the closed eyes. They look between the two eyebrows and have regular controlled breathing, and then senses, mind, and intellect controlled. All right. and with moksha as the supreme goal. I am doing this because my goal is to get rid or freedom from the suffering or birth and death. Then uh, also freed from desire, icha, fear, anger. So such a person is verily free forever. That means he sits for meditation. This is are the people who do this for hours together. So once you have reached that stage, then you will also automatically you will stop interacting with others. This is the highest state, like Gautam Buddha. You'll stop interacting with others, go to an isolated place, sit there for hours together, bring the eyeballs close to, I mean, closer to each other, concentrate on this Ajna Chakra, it's called, on the forehead, between the two eyebrows, and then have controlled breathing. And in your mind, you will say, in your mind, you will say that my goal, this battery, some problem is there. You will say that my goal is supreme goal is moksha with that mind and controlling sense mind controlling your mind, controlling the sense organs means you will not yield to any of the distractions. And just a moment. And also any thoughts, it is not necessary that you should be going and enjoying. Mind will start fantasizing. You have to control that. Control means, as I told last time, we had a session on meditation in Bhagavad Purana class. Maybe we could have in the next session. Whatever method I have got, we can do that. So doing all this, having that thing in mind, and any thoughts, disturbing thought comes, you will not entertain. You will allow it to go. Let it come. That is a property of the mind. With regular, rigorous practice, consistent practice, those thoughts will stop disturbing you. When you sit for meditation and do it every day for at least 20 to 30 minutes, maybe you start with 5 minutes and then concentrate and then chant Om. And if you do that rigorously every day, initially you will start, all the thoughts will start coming. What I have to do today, what should I cook? Somebody was asking me, how can I sit for meditation when I have so many things to do during the day? Well, you can plan it and get up half an hour before. It will bring lot of changes, because my experience says that when you meditate, no, your speed is faster. Your mind will start thinking so creatively that you will cook very fast, you will pack your lunch very fast, you will get, you will get going to your duty, and you will be doing so many tasks very efficiently compared to the days when you don't meditate. And you have a higher energy those days whenever you meditate. So I urge that you should do, because it has helped me tremendously. It has helped me. I cannot say how it has helped, because our subject is so volatile. Remembering that those many names of the drugs, bringing it on the paper, all that was because of my meditation. I am not extraordinary performer, but whatever I have performed, I have done because of meditation. Otherwise I wouldn't have been, definitely not. And even in the day-to-day activities, the day I miss the meditation, I feel that things are not happening. Somewhere there is a kind of disturbance and all that, it doesn't go smoothly. So I have become dependent on that, because it shows. So he says, not only meditation, but uh, don't entertain those thoughts when it comes to your mind. And no, don't have any fear. Don't have these people. They have all these qualities. They meditate. They are free from the, distractions of the sense, mind, and intellect, and they consider moksha as a supreme goal, and they are free from fear and anger and desire. And we have discussed all through that this is going to be the thing, main hurdles for attaining the Brahma Nirvana. Anger, fear, and all those six enemies. So they block the path to realization. They block the meditation process itself. So everything should go simultaneously. We meditate and then be aware, During the day, control that. We said it comes with a full force. So regulate that. And pranayama helps. God has given everything within your body only. Your pranayama helps, your yogasana helps, keep the body, keep the food. If you follow Patanjali's yama niyama, we have discussed, take care of your diet, take care of your sleep, take care of your exercise, along with all these, then the mind and the body will be vibrating at a different frequency. It will be much higher, much higher. That has to be experienced to appreciate. And anybody can follow this and experience. And with time, lot of changes. Lot of changes means not that you will become overnight a billionaire or something. No. You will learn to control yourself, and you will learn to be happy within yourself. You will not be dependent on anybody externally to keep you happy. These are the things which we have discussed. And we have discussed Yeah. So, so that is how he says these are the things one must follow. And if we do this, he has given so much of assurance in the ihaiva, in this life itself. It's not difficult. See, so many words Krishna has told to assure us that this is a very good way to get rid of your suffering. Just start putting one step at a time. It's not that it's not everything cannot come, but he says it's possible. He says it's possible. And then the last shloka says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhradam sarva bhutanam jnatva mam shanti mrichati. So he says, knowing me as a receiver and dispenser of sacrifices and spiritual practices, as the great Lord of all worlds. And finally, beautifully, he says, Suhridam, as a friend of all beings, one attains peace. Leave everything. Friendship is so much close to us, isn't it? We have so many friends. We celebrate Friendship Day. Day in and day out, we interact with our friends, professional or personal or school friends, college friends. So that friendship is there always with us. So he says, if you consider me as a friend, then you can definitely attain peace. That's the that alone can take us out of this whole thing, misery, I think. Consider him as a friend. Consider him as a closest to you. Who else can be closest to us other than him? Because he is within, he is situated, and he himself has told, I am the Jivatma, but I will not be visible until you do all this. But he is there, no? You know that he is there. Then what prevents us? Our samskars, our swabha. Just a moment. So we need to get over all those. And then once we get over means overnight, as I said, not possible. It's not even overnight, not even over years, not even maybe this birth. But the fact, if we understand and if we believe in this and if we have a conviction, no, this is fact, this is going to be there and I'm going to work towards that. This is a faith. If we have that faith, that never ending faith, then one can attain peace. And if we know that he is a receiver and dispenser of sacrifice, dispenser means he is the one who is helping us to do all this, the sacrifices, karma as yajna. And when we offer, he says he is going to receive, but nothing will disturb him, no additions, no subtraction. He is as it is. But he is the one who will receive, he is the one who will give us that energy, and he is the great Lord of all worlds. And above all, the biggest hope is he is our friend, Suhridam Sakha. We must consider him as our closest friend. For that, we must start experimenting, or I would say experimenting with the faith. With the faith, we must experiment in the sense whenever you feel lonely, or you feel nobody listens to you, there is nobody who understands you, then just close your eyes, imagine, and try to pour out your feelings and try to talk to him, imagining you might not have experienced him because we have so many samskars. That's okay, but still, if we try to make him as a virtual friend also, and see how you feel after that. If you feel, definitely you will feel that your burden, everything, your baggage is gone, and somebody is listening to you, then keep practicing that, keep doing that, because always people may not be available for us to listen to our stories or counsel us. They may be having their own preoccupation, either mentally or physically, and when they don't reciprocate in the way we expect them to, we will be disappointed. So he is giving us an easy way. Leave everyone. Just come to me. And once you start doing this, you will yourself will become such a great counselor that you will start, people will start asking you, because somewhere the divinity will start showing, because that connection is established. So in bhakti, and the entire purpose of Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita is to have that connection. So if that connection is there, then whatever is transcending dualities, likes and dislikes, desire, anger, mother, everything becomes a cakewalk. It becomes very easy. At least you will not feel that it's a hurdle, and we become more conscious. So making God, Krishna says, consider me as a friend. And when we have him as a friend, the last but one shloka says, Ichha Bhaya Krodha. Fear is one more thing. Anxiety, fear is something which eats us. It engulfs us so in so many occasions. But when you have developed that connection with that person who's totally a neutral party, he is not your any relative or anybody. No, he is a totally a neutral third party, totally unbiased, always giving. So when you establish that connection, whenever we are facing anxiety, apprehension, or fear, then just tap and call him. Close your eyes, either with chanting, mantra, or just thoughts. Your fear automatically dissolves because you feel somebody is with you. Your closest friend is with you. Don't we take our friends when we go for checkup or something? Somewhere you come along with me. I have to get master checkup. You take your sisters or your brothers or your spouses. You don't go alone. Sometimes you take your friends. Why not take him always with you? Wherever, whatever circumstances, any meetings, any client meetings, any corporate relation, any family negotiations, anything, anything. If you remember him, if he's there, Krishna, you are there, I surrender to you, be with me, ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ. If you say that, and the whole thing will be very, very smooth. That is what he says. So that is the conclusion, and there we end today's session. Another 2-3 minutes I can spare because I have something else to do, and open for discussion. Yeah, anybody?
Today's session was really very good, ma'am.
Thank you.
Going